Hello again. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Okay, good. How is the project coming along? Good. Okay. Who is still having trouble getting onto MicroStation.ly? Anybody still having any trouble? Where's everybody? Everybody's good? Hassan, you're still having trouble? So what is the issue still, Hassan? And have you talked to IT? If you're still going to continue to have trouble with that, you didn't email me or anything over the weekend, so I had assumed everything was okay. So you're going to have to talk to IT and or use virtual commons for now. Okay, I've never used virtual commons. Yeah, you need to get on that because you're going to be very behind if you keep putting it off, okay? Don't do that, Arfan. Don't procrastinate. But thanks for telling me you procrastinate. Yeah. But what happens? You know what's going to happen, Arfan? You're going to have 3 things due in the same week and 3 big things due in the same week. And then what are you going to do? Okay. So let me go ahead and open up my MicroStation here. Give me a second. So have you guys finished exercise A? How many people have completed exercise A? Excellent. So, okay, how many people, let's say, it seems that most people have. Okay, so what you're going to, I want to see. I'm sorry, what do you mean? How can you know if you've done it correctly? It's an assignment. I mark it. So as long as you follow everything, if you've done it correctly, then you'll get the marks, right? That's how the assignment is going to go. I'm just trying to open up. Give me 1 second, please. Okay. So once you have completed the assignment, I'm actually going to do something else here. Hold on 1 second. So I want everybody to have their, you guys all, did everybody make sure that they had all their models created? Okay, good. So I'm going to show you today how to reference in your model onto the actual layout space, okay? So let me just open up my so I'm just trying to all right, so let me share my screen here. All right, so everybody should be, or you should have this already created, okay? Once you've created this, now you want to be able to see it on your default. So you want to be able to see it under exercise 1. Okay? Now, how do we know the scale? It tells us the scale. We want it 1 to 10. And that is shown on your project instructions. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to be here now, and we're going to reference in our model. Okay? Now, this is something similar to if you're in AutoCAD, bringing in a viewport. Okay? Everybody with me? So I'm going to go through the steps. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and reference in. So the reference option, beside the model, you're going to find reference. Okay? So you can click on that. It looks like a sheet inside a sheet. And we're going to do a new reference. Okay? And then we have to choose which reference we want. So we're going to go into, you should have your project 1. You shouldn't have all these other things, maybe your 2D seed file, but you should have one that's called project 1, which is the one that you're working on. Okay? You're going to press on open. And then you will have this pop-up come up. You want to make sure that under model here, you choose default. You want to make sure, to choose exercise A, because that is where you have drawn, that is where you have drawn out your exercise for just number 1. Okay? So you want to make sure it says exercise A, and then you can do your scale as 1 to 10 here. Okay. Nesting, we don't want any nesting. What nesting means is that, let's say you referenced in a model, okay, referenced something in, and then you want that to show in your on your layout space, you would have to do nesting. So you'd have to show something that's already been referenced from somewhere else. So when you reference over reference over reference, then you look at the nesting. Okay, but we don't have that. We just have our 1 model, so we don't need to worry about nesting. And then we're going to press OK. And then we should have it somewhere. Where is it? Now, where is it? It's not showing. Let me just make it 1. It should show up.
Sorry, Professor.
Yep.
For new level display, which option did you select?
For your level, for your, where are you?
New level display.
You just leave it as it is.
Okay.
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 You don't need nesting. Why isn't it showing up? My exercise A. Oh, that's because I have nothing here. Where did I put it? Okay. Here? No. Okay, so ignore what I'm going to do right now. Okay. Okay. I had it drawn somewhere else. I just wanted to bring it here because I have my exercise here. Okay, so let's try this one more time. Okay, so you can see that once I'm going to do it again so I can go through the steps with you guys one more time. Detach. Okay, so you guys are going to make sure you have it drawn out. You're going to go new. Okay, so under reference, you go new. And then you select your project. Press open. Make sure you select your exercise A. Okay, but for, let's say, if you were looking at exercise 2, you'd be looking at exercise B and so on and so forth. Because we're just doing this, no nesting. Okay, we want to bring it in at 1 to 10. 1 to 10 is super tiny. Why is it so tiny? Okay, let's do it 1 to 1. Yeah, 1 to 1 looks good. Bring it in at 1 to 1. And then when you have it, so I'll change that. It should be at 1 to 1. So I'm bringing that 1 to 10. And then for this one, if I want to move it, because you'll see it doesn't come in here, it comes in some space. Some of you, it might come out somewhere else. So what you would do is just make sure you say fit view, and it will bring you everything that's there, and then you have to move it in. So how do you actually move it into your space? You cannot move it using the move command on this side. You cannot do that. For anything referenced, you can't do that. So what you do is here you have the options for your reference to move, copy, rotate, and so on and so forth. So you have to find the move command. And then you can just click on it anywhere where you want and then just move it in. Okay? You can copy it if you want, but as you copy it, if you copy it through here, all it does is copy the reference in multiple times. Okay? Once you've done that, if you close this off, okay, you'll have your reference in, and it's done. It's created. But let's say if I had tried to move it from here using this command, it actually won't allow me to do anything. It will not allow me to move it. So that's how you reference in your project. You can reference it in. For this one, all you're going to have to do is then afterwards do some information, like write down, your name, my name, the sheet number, all the information that you have here. Yes. Okay. So then that sheet would be complete. Okay. So I'm going to re-reference it in. So I'm going to delete this reference and I'm going to do it again. So first thing you do is click on reference. Then you're going to go ahead and attach. So there's this, where there's that orange asterisk. It's the only one that's actually live. So you have to click on that. Then you find your project, and press open. Then you find for the model, the exercise that you want to reference in. So for this one, we're referencing an exercise A, okay? Nothing else. You can give it a name if you want, so you can say parapet, okay? You can say this is the parapet wall. All it's doing, and I'll show you where that is, okay? And then align with master, okay? That's the description. Let's leave it. Nothing else here. You can, once you have a scale, you can put the scale in here. For this one, we're just going to do it 1 to 1 because 1 to 10 seems not good. And I think it's the way I drew it. For you guys, if 1 to 10 is the correct size, make sure to just make sure you have the correct size in here. Okay? So it should be as big as I had it. I think it's the way I drew it. But anyway, once you're done that, nothing else needs to change down here. Then you can press OK. It will show up somewhere. And then all you need to do, this reference dialog box is going to stay open, so you just need to move. So go to Move Reference, and then just move it inside your page. And then that's it. If you needed to rotate it, you could do it here. You could do anything here. If you even want to scale it, once you've done, you brought it in, you want to change the scale, you can change it here. You can change the rotation here. Anything you need to do. Okay, so Hayden, I'm going to ask you to come on Teams to show me what's going on. Okay, just give me a few minutes. So if it's not, then it means something is up with yours. We can look at it. Now, another thing you need to make sure to have is these options. You have your snaps on, you have your locate things on. Make sure that the display is on, because if I turn off the display, I can reference something, but if this is not checked off, it won't be there. So make sure to check it off. Make sure it's checked off. Okay? And where I put parapet wall, that was it. That was just to name it so I know what exercise A stands for. So it's the parapet wall. And then that's it. Okay? Once you've done that, you can close this down and you're done for your first one. Okay? So I'll give you guys a few minutes to do that. Yes, Sebastian?
Professor, if the drawing that we did is way bigger than the title block.
Yes, so bring it in at 1 to 10. So
One.
change your scale to 1 to 10.
Okay.
That's why I was saying I think it's the way I drew it that it fit perfectly. So put this here as 10 and see if it makes it. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Okay, so why don't I give you guys a few minutes? So Harshal, that was when I was bringing it in. I just changed the logical name to parapet wall. Okay? So you can do that as well. Okay, and that would be it for your first one. And then who has their volume on? Please turn off your mic.
Sorry, I wanted to ask you another thing.
Oh, you want to ask a question? Just put up your hand when you want to ask a question, so I know that you're coming in. That's all. Yes, Sebastian, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, what would be a better command in order to move our drawing closer to the layout?
So you have to use the commands inside the reference.
Because I'm doing it manually, I'm moving it manually, but it's kind of like tricky to kind of like find where is the place where I have to put it, right?
You just have to place it inside. As long as it looks good, you're fine. As long as it's not on top of any words or anything like that, you're fine.
Okay.
There's no specific spot on the page that you have to place it. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay, so for the text that you want here, you've given already one. What you can do is when you want to type in or you want to copy, you can copy this text over to make sure for your border, or when you go ahead and type in, you can just make sure that you have the correct one. I just want to make sure that we have the styles in here. Just 1 second. Text style. And we have our drawing text style and title text. Okay, so this one is our drawing text. Okay, so for this one is using title text. So that's the one we're going to use. So you guys can draw. All you need to do for your text is go under here for place text. Okay, and the style, you choose it in here, your drawing text or title text. And then once you do that, you type in the text here. So if I want to put in, for example, my name, remember everything capital, right? And once I have it, you'll see it kind of goes with your mouse. And then I can make sure that I have it in the right area. Now, if let's say I was the one that's submitting it, drawn by me, right? And then once you place it where you want it, you can still place it more than one place. But if you right click right after it, it will go away and it'll give you option to even write more. Now we want to make sure, of course, that we have the right, you guys are using the right, oh my God, the right filter. Okay. So if you are using, the G annotations, which is what I'm doing, you would put everything under G annotation. Okay. So that it can have the right color. So again, I'll go through this one. So I would say, okay, and then I'm going to do text. And for the drawing, I'm going to actually make it into title text. And then I'm going to put in here. And then as I write it, you can see here that, it kind of goes with my mouse, and then I can place it where I need it to be. Now, if I want it to line up, all I have to do is go to where it snaps and then click X so that it locks. Oh, no, it doesn't do that here. You place it around, like kind of just, aim it. I'm not going to be looking at exactly where it is. And once I'm done, I right click and it erases everything, just keeps the one I have. Is that okay with everybody? Okay, so you guys are going to make sure you complete this part as well as you're done, right? This is where my name, so if I was, I'm the one that drew it and I'm the one that I could copy my name over, I could, and also if I want to edit something, so if I'm editing any of these, let's say I made a mistake about how I spell my name, I just double click on it and then I can go ahead and change it, okay? And once I do that, don't close it, because if you close it, it's not going to change. You have to click outside somewhere and it will make the change and it will close that window. Okay, so you guys do that. I'm going to open up start working on these. Okay, and if you finish this, go on to exercise B, please, and start working on that. And I'm going to go ahead and open up a Teams meeting so that I can see what some people are having trouble with, okay? Also, for anybody who has an Apple product, so a MacBook or anything, and is having trouble using Bentley MicroStation, there's one of the guys in my other class. He uses he split his MacBook somehow to be able to download Windows 10 and be able to download from their Bentley MicroStation on it. And he had no trouble. Okay, and he like downloads Revit and all these things on there, no trouble. So if you guys want it, I've posted the link under our Teams group. Okay. Any questions? Okay, so anybody who's having trouble, please join me in the meeting. And I'm going to go through what I need to go through here. Mute myself. for the class. Class, I'm showing how to make the radius, okay, for part B, okay? So when we're looking at exercise B, if you've created, you're starting with your girder, and you need to do, and I'm just going to show it here on this side, and I want to do the radius of 50. That's the radius for this one. So I'm going to go into circular fillet, okay, and that is under option 7 here. You can see it's circular fillet. And then I'm going to give it a radius of 50. Okay. And then I'm just going to select the 2 lines that I want to have the radius with. So this one. Sure. I'm doing it for the entire class. So, Sam, go ahead, try. Yeah, go refresh. I have to break my elements anyways. So what I would suggest, guys, before you, well, not suggest, you have to make sure that you didn't use a smart line. So use regular lines before you, and then you can join everything afterwards. Okay, so that you can actually create the fillet. Okay, are you there, Sam? It's still refreshing. Okay. So circular fillet, then you're going to have to do a radius of 50. Then you select your 2 lines. And then you're going to see that the radius kind of comes up, the fillet comes up. Then you have to trim your lines. So then I trim my line. Okay, and then I select my fillet, so it will join it here. And then again, I trim this line to here, and it will create that nice fillet. Okay, is there any questions about this part? Sam, if you're back, I'll show it again. Do you guys want me to show it one more time here? I don't even know if anybody's. Does anybody want me to show this again? Other than Sam? No, are you the only one? Yes, you want to show it again? Okay, so somebody else wants me to show it again. Okay. So let me do it again. Okay. Sam, are you on now? You can see it? Sam? It's the same thing. Once you have your 2 lines, you're going to do it the same way. I'm just showing the one. You guys can do the others. If you're still having trouble, Harshal, you can come on one-on-one. Okay? So once you have your drawing, okay? And this is not a 45. They don't use a radius of 45, Harshal. The radius is not 45. Okay. So again here, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make sure I select construction circular fillet. I can choose it from here for you guys. Then I'm going to select my lines. Now make sure they are lines, not a smart line. Okay, I have to put my radius in here. So put in your radius, your 50 or your 200. And then you select the lines that you want to have the fillet with. And then you'll see that fillet come up. Then you trim. You trim to here, trim to here. And then you have this. This one, same thing. You're going to have to use another radius, which is given. Okay. I have to leave it for you guys to do. I can show you, but I won't show you the radius itself. Okay. And then if you don't, you just select them, automatically create it, and then trim again. Done. Okay. For which one? This is for where? Any questions about this? Okay, I'm not there right now, Trong. You're going ahead of a lot of other people, so let me just take it step by step, okay? Let me just help the other people that are still having trouble with these basic ones, and then we'll these things that we haven't gone through yet, and then we'll talk about the other one, okay? Anybody else have any questions for me? Okay, that's fine. So I'm gonna come now, Michael, on Teams. Okay, so Okay, and we're back. So does anybody have any questions before I go ahead and go on the PowerPoint? Anybody have any questions here for me on Teams? Okay, if no one has questions, I'm going to close the team session for myself just so I can hear when everybody's asking me questions. Otherwise, I can't hear everything. So everything is drawn in millimeters. Sorry. Yeah, everything is drawn in millimeters. William. Okay. Yes, Sadik.
Miss, how do we change the color of the text? Is it in the same section or is it in a different part as we type?
I'm sorry, the color of your what?
The description for the drawing, like the drawing.
Text? The text?
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't sure because it cuts out every time you say text. That's why I was just repeating to make sure we were on the same page.
Under every drawing, we have to write details like date, submission, drawing name, and everything. How can I change
Here.
the color of those?
So once you have selected the correct filter, okay, it should automatically have the color with it.
Oh.
Okay. And when you create them, and we'll talk about creating it next class, then you can actually add your own color, right?
Okay. So you explain in next class. It's okay.
So how to create your own.
Yeah.
But if you have, these ones are already given to you, so you don't need.
I don't have the menu you have up there.
You should. If you don't, then you didn't use the correct seed. You didn't use the seed that was created for you, so you should have it. Are you with me? And if you don't have this if you don't have this menu at all, like this entire thing,
yeah,
it's called attributes. So you'll have to look under tools and find attributes and check it off. And it should be up here. Okay?
Yep.
Okay, next question. Okay, so you have to use your Seneca email for that, Michael. I don't know if you did or not. You have to use your Seneca email. If you do, this should not come up. I don't know if it was you somebody emailed me the same question. And so now I'm clarifying for everybody that you have to make sure you guys use your Seneca email. Any other questions for me? Yeah, but it's up to you, Michael M. If you want to go that route, that's fine too. Okay? But remember, you're going to have to do the 3D later after the break. So that won't give you that option, right? So this way you don't have to, fall in that or by mistake forget it or whatever. Excuse me. Okay. Uh, 3D is not useful for exercise B. Okay? Wait to do that until after the break. Focus on what you guys have right now. Okay. It's up to you. I'm just telling you because I'm teaching you some of those. Like I taught you how to do the radius right now, and some other things I'm going to as we move on. We're gonna do. We're gonna learn. If I teach you everything in the first day, then you don't need me for the rest of the class. And you don't need to have everything the first day. Anyway, does it say that it comes with a 2% slope? Does yours say that it comes with a 2%? This line you're talking about. Are you talking about this line?
Yeah. No, the bottom one. Can you go down? Yeah, that one. It
This
didn't.
one? So it doesn't say because once you've created all this, this line is when you finished everything, you just make a line in between them.
But I don't. Okay, if that one is the last line to draw.
Yes.
How
Yes.
about the vertical line?
Which vertical
Right,
line?
right. Go to the right. Move the
This one?
cursor to the no, right.
This one?
No, right. Yeah,
Which
that
one?
one.
This one?
I don't see the
This
time.
little one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that dimension is not going to be given. You have to look into your project. As I said before, you have to look in your exercises to find out because there is, let me just open up this. Hold on one second. Let me open it up. Hang on.
So I have to do subtraction.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Because here you have, this is asphalt, the thickness of the asphalt minus the stuff here to give you this. Okay?
Okay. Can I have one more? Sorry. Can you see section C, the small circle of exercise 1? Can you go back?
This
Like,
one?
yeah.
This one?
No.
Mhm.
Yeah. That one. Is the line
Mhm.
come 2% too? The horizontal one?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
these lines here, this one is 2%. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions, guys? No other questions. Okay. So then let's move on to okay. So this is all about modern highway overpasses. Okay, so we're going to discuss the bridges. First thing we're going to talk about here is your abutment wall. So an abutment wall in a, it's the end, okay, of a bridge. So when you go over a bridge, those two walls that you see here are considered your abutment wall. They're the ones that hold up your superstructure, right? Your bridge, as well as they kind of hold back the soil. So when you're driving underneath a bridge, you would see these on your sides, on either your left or your right. Okay. Are you guys with me? I just want to make sure that everybody's with me here. I'm going to have this posted so you'll have this available. Okay. So when we're looking, I want to actually play this. Okay. So I'm not sure what's happening with this thing. Oh. What do you guys see? Do you guys, which one do you see? Do you see this? Okay, perfect. like to show it, as, but you know what, forget it. It's too much work. Okay. So as I was saying, this is the abutment wall. So the abutment wall will also hold up. Where do you see it on an angle? Like the top here, or? The abutment wall should be straight. So what are you talking about angle? Where is the angle that we're discussing here, Sebastian? Could it be a one-off? Like, is this a constant? Remember, abutment wall is holding something back. So it could be at an angle if they want to keep, for some reason, the soil at that same thing, but it would never be. It should be a straight, the way it's straight. It could have the way they have made the wall on the sides here angled, right? But this would be straight to hold up your bridge. So I'm not really sure what you're trying to. I don't know what you would like. If you have the wing walls here, which are on the ones on the side, they could be on an angle, and I've seen those many times under bridges as you drive under a bridge. Okay. So anyhow, your abutment walls will be holding up your girders, right? So if you're looking at a section, this is as if it's looking at this section over here. So we have our abutment wall down here, of course, and then you would have your girder sitting on top of the abutment wall, and it would, right? And then you would have it sitting, and then it would be attached to your abutment wall, okay? Sitting on a footing. And your abutment wall is mostly made out of concrete. You've never seen it made out of anything other than. And then, of course, it's going to have in there a rebar inside your abutment wall. No, again, that is on top. That's the top part. If you're looking at the top here being angled, that's normal. You should never have anything flat. So yes, the water to roll off, but he's talking about the entire wall being angled. No, that would be different. This on the top of it for sure, or having, holes in it to be able to allow water to seep through, that's different. Okay, so that's an abutment wall. So abutment wall is at the end. It's at the end of the bridge on both ends. Okay, so it holds up the soil, holds up the bridge, so it holds back the soil from falling into the the dug up space underneath the bridge, and then it's also to hold up your bridge, your girders. Okay. So it provides vertical and lateral support. Okay, and now we're looking at the abutment wall footing. Okay, so your abutment wall footing is here, and it is to hold the abutment wall. Okay, now it is to be able to take on the distribution of the load, right? So when we have the load going onto your foot, your abutment wall, you want to be able to distribute it down to your footings. Okay. Any questions about these so far? I'm really curious about the one that you're talking about, Sebastian. If you know what the name of the bridge is, please let me know. I would really be curious about it. and I can look into it. Okay. Okay, so the center pier is you would have, your bridge attached kind of in this. So I'm going to show it to you. It's here even better. The center pier is where you would have it kind of give more lateral support to the bridge. So the bridge is long, you would need that center pier so that it can hold up the girders so that you don't have any deflection. Okay. And of course, with concrete, it wouldn't cause deflection, it could cause cracking, right? So there is a limit to how long these girders can hold or can be alone withstanding without something in the middle to support them. So this is another way of supporting the girders. Okay, so we have that those center piers. Okay, and again, when you're drawing them out, this is taking a section. This is looking at it this way. Here you would have your bridge, your center of the bridge, and then you're going to have your pier cap, which is up here. Okay, and then you can see that it's on an angle of 5%. And again, that's to allow the water not to sit on it, but to seep through, to fall. Okay. Now for reinforcement, everything within the bridge is reinforced. So you have that a lot of rebar in there. So you have the reinforcement is just to give it more, support for when you do have the compression, so that the tension at the bottom, and you'll see a lot more rebar at the bottom than on the top, because it's, to help with the deflection for the tension. Okay. So that is important when you see that. And again, these things you would create based on an engineer giving you, how much to place and things like that. And as you get more comfortable, you'll be able to place them yourself. Or you'll have the kind of the basic idea, the base, and then the engineer would either change it or keep it as it is. But it's very important that we do have our rebars, so that it can assist with the tension, right? Otherwise it will have cracking. This gives us more time. It gives us more time with the concrete, okay, as anything else. Okay. So the abutment diaphragm and the reinforcement. Again, reinforcement is very important. So this is a sample of the reinforcement that you would see. So you have 25 m. So that is the diameter of your reinforcement. Okay. And so when we're talking about, you would have 25 m, for example, and you see how here we kind of show it and we say typical, so we know that these are all 25 m. But then when we look at if the rebar is going this way horizontally, we would say, I want to show you which one. Yeah, it would be a little different than this one. I'm trying to say that it would say like something like 15 m continuous. Okay, so this one we know that it's 15 m continuous. It would say 15 m at 300. So you know that it's 300 every 15 m, the rebar 15 m at every 300 millimeters, or so on and so forth. Okay. Girder sections, that's just, the drawing of the girders, being able to see different sections. And we already talked about the girders. Girders are what hold up your actual bridge on top. So these are just girder sections showing you example of the girder section. Okay, so if you cut it and you see inside, that would be how it would look. So you have your girder, and then this is the span. These are the girder. And then let me see here. so small. No. So when you guys show your sections, you're going to show me just like you would see in exercise B for your girders. Okay? I'm not looking at the entire thing, but if there was more than one, then you would show all of those. But again, we're not doing that right now. Okay, so we have the details. These are the rebar details, okay? And then there is different types of end details. So in the ends, you would see where all your rebar comes out, okay, when you have a straight bottom. So you see here how there's a lot more. Do you guys see, if I move closer, do you guys see how much more rebar there is here than on top? Okay, so these are the type of rebars that we would have, and then these end ones would kind of curve in, right? You would have them connect to whatever comes in over here. So at the end, the wall that comes in at the edge, that it would attach to it so that it can give it support, and it would pass on some of the stress onto the wall. Okay. Because the stress comes from here. That's where the tension mostly comes from. Okay. This is just another view from the ends, just showing more, just more views for you to look at. If you're looking at it from this side, from this edge, this is how it would show. And again, here are those strands. Okay. There's many names for these. So there's strands, rebar. We have dowels, which are different. There's, they name them differently, just so that you know what kind of it is. But it all has to do with steel, rebar steel, right? So there's a spacer that is placed on top of your deck, which looks like this. Okay, so it's placed between each rebar. Okay, and again, that is to kind of take some of the stress that it's going to have, some of the load, and then distribute it. Okay, and so we have these spacers between each girder. Okay, and you can see here that you would have your spacer, and then it would connect with your girder through rebar, and then you would have, it goes inside the dowels and so on. Okay, so that's these things. Okay, these precast panels. Okay, so the retained soil system is the RSS, which is this wall. It's also called the wing wall. Okay, that's another name for it. So this is at a slope of 2 to 1, this one. Now, this is also to hold the soil back. So we have this wall here, which is our abutment wall, and then we have our wing walls attached to it. All this is to be able to hold back the soil, right? And also to take the stress from the bridge onto it to distribute it to the soil. Okay, so it has really two walls. Because if you didn't have this, some places don't have this. It depends on where it is. Sometimes it's long, sometimes it's not an angle, but most places do, or they have it made out of something, not like a wall concrete. They made out of some blocks or something like that. But this is the most common one. Okay. This is just showing a section. So if you cut the RSS wall, just taking a section of it and being able to see. Okay. So at the end of the abutment wall, right, it kind of goes out a little bit. For us, it's going to be going out a little bit, you know, at an angle. Again, that's just the way they do it, just so that it can distribute the load and be able to hold it. Is that what you're talking about, Sebastian? Like this wall? Is that the wall you're talking about? This wall, right? So this wall is, as I said, it's the side wall. This one is always comes at an angle a little bit because of just, it has to come from the bottom. They don't want to have to remove all that soil if they don't need to. One of the reasons why we don't remove all the soil, first, it costs more, right? If I remove all the soil, I have to, you know, pay somebody to do it. There's no reason. Second, I'm going to have to build a bigger wall that I don't need to, right? At the end of the day, it needs to be able to go up here so that it can connect to your street, because this is going to have a bridge, and then, you know, eventually the bridge is going to stop and it's going to go into the street. So you have to make sure that it connects that way. Okay. So there's no point of having it a straight wall that goes all the way to the bottom. Okay. Because it's just going to end up costing them more, taking them more time. Okay. This will do the job. So they do it as like a step, you know, ladder, just like we do for steps, step footings, almost, but not as, of course, not the same, but they do it as steps. You see that? But those are the sides only. So that's really it for the bridges. So I'm going to post this for you guys so you can take a look at it. If you do have any detailed questions about any details here, please let me know. I'll answer it. And we can discuss it either further later on, or if you have a one-on-one question, I'll answer that. That's not a problem for me. Okay? And class is done for today. Does anybody have any final questions for me? Or if not, I will see you guys all on Thursday. Have a great evening. You're more than welcome. Okay. And if you are still having trouble with any of the radiuses, okay, or any issues for exercise B, let me know. Next class, we're going to go through creating levels, okay? And so for exercise C, we're going to go through the creating levels, okay? Have a great evening, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening and enjoy your day tomorrow. Thanks. Yeah, so Sebastian, I see the picture you're talking about. So if you're talking about this one, hold on. I'm going to bring it over here.